Welcome to Hamilton County Sports. I'm Perry Williams. Alongside me today is the head football coach of the Noblesville Millers, Coach David Sharpe. Welcome, Coach.
Hi, Perry. Good to see you.
Good seeing you. Well, last week, homecoming, Franklin Central, Noblesville. Franklin Central came out on top. Let's talk a little bit about it, because actually the first quarter was 0-0. We got defensively, we got a very good start.
They were. We knew this was going to be a very low-scoring game. We felt very confident that we could stop them on defensively. We felt like we matched up good defensively, and for the most part we did. But we were also knew that this was the best defense we'd seen all season. It is just loaded with quick, explosive, big, strong guys, and what sets them apart, they have the best player we've gone against, number 23, and he's a 3-year starter, Julius Parker, and you can't tell because he was playing interior defensive line. You can't tell from the bleachers, I'm sure, but he had such an impact in the inside run game and slowed us down. But we moved the ball in the first half a little bit. Couldn't score. The biggest play of the game, you're right, was 0-0 early second quarter. We finally get Logan Schaffner established. We couldn't get him established against Zionsville, and we finally get him on about a 20 or 25 yard run. We get down their territory. We end up with 4th and 2, and we run a keep left and about the 30-yard line, if I recall, and just inopportune running back trips on a pulling guard, and two guys kind of bump to each other, which we lose a lead blocker, and we end up getting a gain of 0. And that was a big play because I really felt like we had the momentum to go up 7-0. And then they go down, and their superstar tailback, we knew he was a tremendous player. He scored a touchdown against us last year, Gillard, number 14. He had that huge run for the first touchdown of the game about midway through the second quarter. We respond with, we had a great look on 3rd down and 7. We ran a dig route to Schaff, and we just miss it to keep the chains moving, and subsequently we get a pump block. And it's the exact same thing that happened against Zionsville. We were down by a touchdown, just miss a pass to move the sticks, and then get a pump blocked. And from there, though, we held him to a 3rd and 6, and Gillard we sniffed out a screen pass, but he's so good. He's got to be 210 pounds and runs a 4.5 or so, and he was able to break the tackle on the screen pass to get him that first down, and they scored. But Blake Widget, he's one of our big playmakers. He responded in the most opportune way by housing that kickoff return, which gave us new life. Okay, then we got one more stop right before half, which was nice. Then it started to rain a little bit, which we kind of thought was to our advantage, but it's only to our advantage if we're within a touchdown or tied. And once we got down 14 in the second half, then we had to start throwing the ball, and the balls are getting slippery, and we did not. We know we're not a very good team when we're down 14. Not many teams are, but especially us, and it's just our job to not get in those situations. But we told the kids this is a game that's going to be. For us to win this game, they're so good on D. It's going to be a 17-14 kind of a game, or a 21-17 kind of slugfest. And we got down there twice. I mentioned the time we got down to the 30, and then late in the game, same scenario. We ran a keep for about 6 yards, get down to the 10-yard line, but it gets called back for a hold, and then from there we end up with 3rd and long and 4th and long, and can't get in the end zone. So I'm very frustrated offensively, very frustrated myself. I wish I had 3 or 4 of those plays to, run something slightly different. Just 2 weeks in a row that we've been in a funk after having a couple of really good offensive outings against Westfield and against Fishers, and then just two bad ones right in a row. So we're the same set of guys. We just got to, we got to get a first down, and that solves a lot. If we can get 4 or 5 plays in, we get into a flow. And for the past couple of games, we're not getting much on first down, and that's causing us to do some things that we're uncomfortable with. And big focus this week is just getting ahead of the sticks, getting us into second sixes, and we're going to get there though.
Yeah, the one thing about it you've always talked about is, for this offense, that third, three is very, very important for you to be there when you're third and long or fourth and long.
And our kids know it. Like, I'm sure from your vantage point, from way up in the press box, it looks like 22 bodies just blobbing together. But our guys, it's like we know those inches are there, and it's just like that power that went for a yard and a half. It's so close to going for 4 or 5. We just don't clean up an arm here or a step there. So our guys are very obsessed. They know what it takes to get a gain of 4 or 5, and that's what we obsess over, is gains of 4. And when we get a gain of 1 or 2, there's a fundamental breakdown somewhere, and that's bad for us. It's the same way if a spread team throws a pass and it's 2 inches to the left and you drop it, and our fundamentals are we're just losing them a little bit, unfortunately. As the defense has begun to play better, the offense has definitely become to it's playing worse. So when are we going to get both sides to come together on a Friday night? I hope it's this Friday.
Coach, you take a look at quarter by quarter. I mean, that first quarter, no one scored any points. In the fourth quarter, no one scored.
We were very deliberate. Like, we were definitely trying to bleed clock more so than other games. We wanted to get to halftime tied or in the game. We didn't want to give them too many offensive possessions, and our game plan was to win the game 17-14, something ugly, or 13-10, something really ugly, just because we knew there's so much speed. There's so much speed on that defense and so much quickness that it was going to be hard to big play them. Division I defensive, but when we tried to go spread, it's like, man, it's still not a great matchup. They've got Division I defensive backs and tremendous pass rushers, and it's a team that they shut down Roncalli's big, massive offensive line. They really did. They lost the game, but man, they really shut those guys down. Shut down Zionsville, but lost the game 14-7. They're really a phenomenal defense, and we're going to see a defense that's just as good, if not better, here this Friday.
Yeah, in fact, I happened to come from an interview today with Coach Kelly, and he was talking about it all starts around his defense, and he's got a very good, a lot of good players on that defensive side. But the one thing too, when you look at their individual stats and everything, once again, this is a team with a balanced attack. They got 915 yards through the air, 1153 rushing. So, and they've scored 12 touchdowns rushing and 10 through the air. So it's again typical Hoosier Crossroad Conference, a balanced attack, and so it's nothing new for us to see that.
No, they're very, very good on offense. Bradle's had a great season, and when they need him, Hamilton, the big receiver, when they need him, he's there for them, and he's great at drawing personal or pass interference calls, or just going up and getting a big play, and then a lot of motion, so a lot of guys are touching the ball. We've used multiple running backs this year, but yeah, Bradle's really, the quarterback's been the straw that stirs the drink for him. Most of those guys did not start last year at HSE. They're replacing almost basically the entire offense, but they've stepped up, and they're getting better and better each week, and they've already played a lot of the meat of the schedule. They've already played Fishers and Westfield, and they've played some good teams in Zionsville now, so they're getting better and better, and they're very well coached to give you a lot to prepare for. But it's definitely their defense is. It's just those guys. They just won't get off the scouting report. They were on the scouting report last year. They're on the scouting report 2 years ago. So a lot of 3-year starters. Brigette and Sherrill and Haas and Daniels, and of course Early Wine. Those guys are just Gastineau. Those guys are great football players. They can play any spot. They're just big, strong, quick, physical, and they just fit them. When you watch them play, those guys are just football players. They play any position, and Our guys know him very well because we all, our offense is basically all returning starters from last year for the most part. And so they went up against him last year, and they know it's not going to be easy, but the only way we're going to get over the hump is we have to play well against a great team, and this qualifies as a great team, and we'll see if we can get it started here in the first quarter.
Coach, we always talk about, and it's a philosophy that many coaches have. You have to take care of the things that that need to be done, and it doesn't matter if it's Southeastern or Brownsburg or Franklin Central or whoever. With these next two games, with Southeastern coming up, and we'll talk about Brownsburg next week, that's a very good football team. What do you think that we really need to do? Obviously, is to play.
Yeah, we got to play keep away. We need 8-minute drives, and we had a couple of 3-and-outs, and 3-and-outs are devastating for us. Devastating. We have to get the ball back, and our defense doesn't get a rest. So it's that simple. If we get into a 2nd and 9 and a 3rd and 7, that's not good, and we are doing whatever we can to correct that. We really are, and that's our way of taking time off the clock, keeping these great offenses off the field, and keeping the game manageable until we get into the fourth quarter, and then like we did against Westfield, see if we can figure out a way to pull it out. And that's the game plan for HSE. We want them to frustratingly be in 3rd and 4, or we be in 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, 4th and 1 is fine, and just keep zapping that clock. That's what we got to do to win here.
Well, Coach, thanks a lot. Once again, with this being a home game, Hamilton County TV will be here to broadcast that game with Hamilton Southeastern, and they're just right down the road here, so it's not a long trip for them or anything. And like you said, most of the players are all familiar with each other, so there's no really big surprises there. We just got to get the job done on the football field.
That's right, Perry.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. I appreciate you.
Go Knights. Yep.